Okay, we'll get started. Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Washington Student Achievement Council Spring Training Webinar Series. This session will introduce our newest SFA product, submitting WASFA corrections and approving special circumstances. This session is being recorded and will be made available on our website. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us. My name is Victor Fernandez, and I serve as the Customer Interface Manager here for the Student Financial Assistance Division. And I will be your presenter for this session. And there's my contact email there. So we are in a webinar format, and our participants are muted to help reduce background noise. If you would like to ask a question, please type it into the Q&A box located on your control panel. We're lucky to have both Gabi and Carla as our session moderators. They will review questions and share them with us. So thank you guys for being here and helping out. There are several natural stopping points throughout this session that will allow me to pause for questions. We will do our best to answer all of them. Here's our agenda. We're going to talk about WASFA access to the portal, how to submit a correction, how to approve special circumstances. I'm going to perform a demo, and if there are any standing questions. All right. With the WASFA permissions, you can access WASFA applicants via the portal. With the rollout of submitting corrections, we have created a new permissions group. So you must have this access to submit corrections or approve special circumstance. So you would need to contact your institutional administrator if you need these permissions. And so here's a screenshot of the two WASFA permissions. And so the one that we just created is the institution staff with expanded capabilities. This will give you access to submit corrections. And then the permission of have access to institution features, that's if you have that access, then you can view your WASFA applicants. But I will do a quick demo on how to grant access to your staff. Here's just a quick overview of the WASFA landing page. So the WASFA's interface is located in the portal. As I said, this is where you have access to your applications and make corrections if necessary. You can view results on the screen or download in a CSV or ISER format. You have option to select all applicants for a particular year, or you can just search only your new transactions. They're considered new until you download them in an ISER format. And then there's many different ways to search for individual students by SSN, Daca, Itins, WASFA ID, name, date of birth, etc. Here's just a quick snapshot of the WASFA interface landing page. For those you don't know what it is, here it is. So there's drop downs here that you can select the year. There's a CSV and ISER export options for you. A couple of search tips. If you leave the fields blank and just click on search, that will pull up your entire applicants. And then when searching, ensure that you have the correct academic year selected. I'm going to pause here really quick for any questions. Do we have any yet? Nope. Okay. Moving on to corrections. Next several slides, we'll go through step-by-step and how to submit a correction. Before making any correction, we ask that you verify the information and keep documentation in the student's file.
I'm sorry, Victor, we do have a question. I had a mouse issue.
Okay, no worries.
When will this feature be available? 21-22 or 2021?
Okay, hang tight. I'm going to answer that in a little bit, but it'll be available very soon. Thanks, Carla. So here's this, so a step-by-step process. This is the first step. So on the WASFA interface, just search for your student and click on the name. And on the WASFA application detail page, look for the most recent transaction, and there should be an edit button next to the transaction number. The edit button will only appear next to the latest transaction. Locate the field you want to change by navigating through each tab across the top. Then you want to click into the field that you want to change and make your changes. And then you can proceed to the review/submit tab when you're ready to submit your corrections. The review submit tab displays the changes that you made. So just make sure you double check for accuracy. And if you're ready to go, you can click on submit corrections, or if you want to cancel, you can click on the cancel corrections and return to the application detail page. So for this correction, the change here, the student's tax return completed was changed from will not file to already completed. So because of that change, it required several other fields to be completed. Depending on what you change, can trigger other fields that will be required to complete before submitting your correction. So you guys will see this live. I'll demonstrate this in a little bit. Another change I would like to talk about is updating Ssns, Itins, or Daca. Just please be aware that changing this field may create multiple student records. So meaning the student may have already been paid under a different ID. So please reach out to us so that we can perform an ID merge, so we can move awards under the correct ID. And also if they're a college-bound student, we would need to update their Cruncher record as well. And this is a screen you will see after you have submitted your correction. The application detail screen will now display your pending correction. Please note that a new transaction will be created overnight, and the edit button will remain locked till the following day. So it's one correction per student per day at this time. Our service region can't handle multiple corrections for the same student a day. So once you submit a correction for a student, it will be locked until the following day. This is a quick, so the following day, the correction process date field will be filled with the timestamp and date in which the correction was submitted on. So once you see this filled, then you know that it's been completed, and there'll be an updated transaction number, an incremented transaction number. Okay, I'm gonna pause here for questions before moving on to approving special circumstances.
One question, I assume this PowerPoint will be made available to us?
Yes, absolutely.
And will there be an audit that shows who made the corrections?
At this time, no, but that is a good feedback. If Gabi, if you can write that down, thank you for providing that. So no, it does not handle that right now, but that's something that we can add. Thank you.
We would like to know if it was the student, parent, or another school.
Okay. Thank you. That's good information.
The questions are flying in now.
Okay.
Did I understand correctly that we can update the ID for the student and then follow the same process to notify WASAC to update if a merge is needed?
Correct. Yeah, please email us the Washington College Grant email address for merge requests.
Will all schools be able to see the corrections or get notified of the corrections?
Yeah, all schools that are listed on the student's application will see the updated transaction with the changes.
Will other schools be able to see corrections made when adding different schools?
I have to verify that. I can't answer that question right now. That's a good question. So we'll take that one back.
Are corrections transactions made by another school viable by others? Maybe viewable, excuse me, viewable by others?
Yes, as long as that school's was listed on that transaction, yes, it would be viewable. Changes will be made viewable.
Clarification, will we be able to update the SSN? Will the student also be able to update SSN?
Yes, yeah, yes, you have the capabilities to update SSN, and then the student always had the capability of doing that on their end when they log into their to the WASFA account. They can change that there as well.
Okay, it looks like you're caught up with that section.
All right, thank you, Carla. Okay, great questions. Thank you. Moving on to proven special circumstances. So these are just some screenshots really quick. So on a WASFA interface, search for your student, click on the name. On the application detail page, there's a field called labeled special circumstances approved field. And there's a, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little box next to it with a thumbs up icon, and it says approved special circumstances. So all you would need to do is just click on the button, and then the next slide shows you that once you click on it, the field updates to a yes and sends off a correction file. So a new transaction will be provided the following day. Any questions on special circumstances?
Will other schools be able to use the updates or corrections made by another school?
Repeat that again, Carla, please.
Will other schools be able to use or update? Let me pick it up again, sorry. Will other schools be able to use the updates, corrections made by another school?
Yes, as long as that school was on the original transaction that was edited, they can make changes. But so once it's locked, though, it's locked. So if you were going to go into an application and notice, we'll have a message that says that's locked. Then you know that another school has gone in and submitted corrections, so you would need to wait the following day. That makes sense. I hope that
Will
answers
this
your question.
update now allow? Yeah, I think you got it.
Okay.
Will this update now allow for an EFC for other than 9 months to be calculated?
Yes, yeah, EFC will be any changes that triggers the EFC that would be recalculated in the updated transaction. Okay, so now, yeah, now I get to showcase what we've been waiting for. And before I get started, I really want to take this time to express a moment of gratitude. As you know, we've been working with our application servicer, Regents, for over a year, maybe almost 2 years on this project. And we went through, as you guys know, many obstacles along the way. But what got us where we are today was the team effort that involved many groups. And I just want to say a huge thank you to our IT team. Thank you to our SFA project team on this, Carla, Marla, Becky, and Gabi. Also want to say thank you to, we had testers from UW, Eastern, Wenatchee Valley, and Whitworth. So thank you. And then last thank you to Regent. So it's a long time coming. I'm really excited to finally get this thing rolling. I also want to use this time to let you all know that we'll be rolling this out later this week. Not tomorrow, but I think Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. We will officially send out an email when it's ready, when it's live. When it's roll out, please let me know if you come across anything that needs attention or if you have feedback. We always welcome your feedback. And if there's something that could make this product better, we would love to hear it. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing my PowerPoint and bring up one of our testing environments. So just give me a minute here so I can get that set up. Can someone confirm that you're seeing Portal Dev 1 on screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Victor, there is a question about, is WASFA still not able to do DRT?
DRT, what is DRT?
The answer to that is no, WASFA cannot do DRT. That's the IRS data retrieval tool. And that is not something that even is on the horizon at this point because of the data sharing agreements that are required to make that happen. I don't see it in the foreseeable future. And so that's where we're drawing tax information directly from the IRS. And your screen is showing now, Victor.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Carla. Thanks for answering that question.
Mhm.
All right. So this is one of our testing environments. And I'm going to showcase a correction. And so these are just dump fake data. I made a few accounts and this is just my son's name. I'm using his name, but all the data that you see is just make believe. So I'm searching for an applicant. I'm going to click on his name here. And so we have a few transactions. Here's the edit button right next to transaction 52, because that's the latest transaction. And so I can't edit 5051. Here on your screen, you'll see you should see yellow highlighted fields. This just means that these were changes that I made. These are just changes that I made. So 50 didn't have in the middle initial, and 51 I added E. So that's just a FYI here. And then here, if you down below, there's a correction process date. So I've submitted a correction here, and so this just lets me know that it's been processed, like I mentioned on one of those slides. But yeah, so here I'm going to click on edit. And I'll just do a couple, like here I can add, so here's the tabs across the top that you can navigate. And let's just add I'm going to add an SSN here. So you have that option to do that. And I'm going to go to, and then maybe let's do something, let's say that actually Xander has kids. So let's update this number in family to 4. So now as soon as I change it to 4, you see that how it these two fields below, it forced me. Now these are required fields, so it won't let me submit this correction because I've changed this number in family. So now I have to fill out these required fields. So I'm going to complete those. And now it went away. So let's go on to the next section. I have no red on here, so there's nothing required. Everything's looks good. I don't want to make any changes here. Education, I'm going to leave that alone. Because of the change I made, now the student is considered independent because I changed the family size. Next section, income. I'm not going to change anything here. And then also the parent section is also disabled because it gives you a reason right here. So the student is supporting dependents. So I no longer can view that section. So the last section is the review. So before you submit, so these are just the changes that I made, and I'm going to click on submit corrections, and that's it. So return to application, and now it should be a pending. So here's a pending correction. Here are the fields with the yellow are the changes here. And then the following day, so overnight, we have an import job that will send corrections over to Regent. Regent processes these corrections and then sends us a file with updated transaction numbers, and then we import that early morning every day on our live site. Yeah, so pretty cool. Any questions so far?
Yes, we load the ISERs into our ERP banner. Will these new features make changes to the ISER that might cause our imports to fail?
It should not, but that's a really good question. It would, please let me keep us posted on that, but it should not, it should import into your ISER fine with the updated changes. So I don't see it erroring out, but please let us know if there are some issues with that. We'll get that fixed right away.
What's the best way to tell if a correction was made by the student versus an FAA?
Yeah, right now, the only way you can tell the indicator that a school made a change is the correction process date field. So on your screen, I'm highlighting the correction process date here. If there's data in that field, then a correction was submitted from a school. If you see, let's say if you see another transaction with this, an updated transaction with this field being blank, then that's an indicator that the student went in and made some changes. But with the feedback that we received earlier about having having a field or something that says last update, then that'll give you a better idea on exactly who submitted a change. But for now, this is your indicator on whether or not it was a student or a school.
Victor,
Yes.
could you hover on top of the I on the pending corrections so we can see what that says?
Yeah. Thank you, Gabi. So it's kind of small, but it says corrections for this application have been submitted and are listed below. A new transaction should be created overnight with these corrections applied. So maybe here we might have like a correction submitted by and then have a name or something like that. So we'll have it somewhere up here where it's visible. So that was good feedback. Any other questions?
No other questions.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to WASFA landing page here and show you a special circumstance really quick. It's really easy. I'm going to pick on Xander again. Oh, wait a minute. No, I forgot. This is my dog's name, Subi. So I'm going to pick on him. Click on his name. And so now here, down under next to special circumstance, it says yes, because Subi on his application said I cannot provide parent data or parent information. So that's the trigger. And then here's the special circumstance approved. And once here's a button right next to the no, I'm going to click on the button and approve it. And I would update to yes. And it creates a pending correction. And then the following day, you will see an updated transaction for Subi. And yeah, any questions on this?
Nope, no new questions.
Okay.
Nope, I take that back.
Okay.
Suggestion, if you continue with the ICER format, you could use the correction type field with the same values as the FAFSA. For those of us that load the WASFA into our ERP, it would load this field just like it does for the FAFSA. And
Thank you for that.
are schools able to send correction files?
No. So I don't quite understand your question, but correction files are processed through the WASFA interface. Those are the correction files, and they get sent over to Regents. So no, the school doesn't. I don't know if I'm answering your question. Please let me know if I'm not. But
I think what she's getting at is if they're able to batch corrections as opposed to going into each application. And right now we don't have that technology. The aid administrator has to make the corrections in our portal, and then we send the correction files to our vendor as a batch.
Got it. Yep. Thanks, Carla. That's right.
And I'm not seeing any other questions, Victor.
Okay. Yeah, last thing here I want to show you really quick is if you are if you're a institution administrator for your school, this is a reminder that you have access to grant permissions for your staff. And so with WASFA, we're adding a new permission, as I said earlier, and I just wanted to show you how that's done. So I'm going to pick on Gabi here. So I search. So for administrator, you would go to admin and go to manage users. So this is the screen I'm on right now. And then you would click on search, and this would populate the list of your staff. So here I have Gabi listed here. I'm going to click on edit. She's going to have a lot of access here just because she's staff. So just a heads up. And this is our training site. So this is another practice environment site that we use. It's loading. Really slow. Really slow. It's still loading. I don't know what's going on. Hang on here.
Meanwhile, we have a question.
Okay.
If one school approves a special circumstance, will that approval apply to all listed schools? If so, how will schools be notified of these approvals?
Yes, it will be approved for all listed schools. Good question and feedback. We could, yeah, I got to think about that. Take that back to our IT team. So I'm assuming maybe are you looking for like an automated email or this or some kind of flag on when if you pull up the student on a detail page, like a next to the special circumstance field. Let me know exactly on what you're looking for, and I'll take that back to the team. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, so kick me out, so maybe that's why. I'm gonna log back in here. Are we okay on time, Carla? I'm almost done.
We're a little bit over, but I think we can squeeze it in.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so here's, I'm looking at Gabi's, what she has access to. I'm gonna scroll down and click on select WASFA. And here is the updated, the new permissions, institution staff with expanded capabilities, and you just click on add. And that's it. So now Gabi has access to make, to submit corrections. And so when we go live, we will give this access to all of the institution administrators for each school so that you can grant this access to your staff. Okay, I'm going to stop share here, and I think that's all I had on my slides. Oh, and his last slide is questions, and I think we've answered all the questions, Carla.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Well, with that, I really appreciate you guys joining us, and thank you for your time and your feedback. We'll get back to the team on any outstanding questions and get back to you all. So thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.